Hey guys, this is the Canik Mete SFT. I'm just going to be mounting a Holosun 407K red dot on there. Pretty common optic, and then I'm also going to be slapping on the Align Tactical locking thumb rest to replace that up there. We'll just start. Clear. The magazine. Kind of already got ahead of myself for this video. I already put a base plate on here. I took the one that came on the Canik off. 2 screws, pretty simple. For this plate, I did have to shave down the 2 back plastic knobs in order to get the footprint right for this 407. But as you see, slaps right on there. Pretty basic. Got a little bit of Loctite on these. I'll end up torquing these down later on. Gotta look up the specs on them, but it should be pretty straightforward. If you look, you should be able to see the dot on there. It's turned up pretty bright. You can still co-witness the factory sights that come with it, which are pretty nice. But yeah, pretty basic install. I'm sure everyone's seen the 407s already, but they got the side compartment for the battery. Controls on the left side. It's a, if you can see that right there, the 407 Kilo X2. Yeah, that's about it. For the next one, I'm going to be slapping on the Align Tactical thumb rest. That way you got something to place your thumb on there, get a little better recoil control. It doesn't reduce anything, but it allows you to have a better grip and better thumb placement on the firearm. Alright, so I'm back. I'm going to be putting the Align Tactical locking thumb rest on here for the block pin. Again, it is cleared, no magazine. So pretty much starting out, you're just going to disassemble the slide, pull down on these locking tabs, come forward, pops right off. So mine is pretty dirty. I've put a couple hundred rounds through here, I haven't cleaned yet. But essentially, this is a pretty basic disassembly. If you have the right tools, I don't have anything too crazy, but that is a 3D printing armorer's block that I built. And you're just gonna get a little punch. Right here, you're gonna press that tab through. You don't want to push it all the way through, just because this detent, this is gonna come flying up the slide lock right there. It is under some pressure from a spring, so just be mindful. All right, so push it in just a little bit, and this little retaining block is gonna slide up and out. Take that off, put it right there. Now what you wanna do is cover this up. I'm just gonna use my thumb and then pull this block out. And slowly release. That way it doesn't come flying out. So as you can see, mine came out, the plunger's still inside there. So just be mindful of where the plunger's at. And then the spring, see my spring got a little crooked in there when I took it out. Just use the little pin, center punch, pop it out. So pretty straightforward. As you can see, yeah, it's very dirty. Shooting some super cheap ammo, just trying to do a quick range day. All right, so now down here, a little hard to see with the light, but you're gonna take something real small and push that locking mechanism back. I have a really tiny flathead that I'm gonna be using. So you just push that in there. There's one click. And that goes through. So you can see there's kind of an orientation. This is kind of oval side, so it's only going to go in one way. I'm gonna leave that there for now while I get the Align Tactical thumb rest out. So essentially this is gonna replace that pin. You can see it's got the flat mark on there. Same thing as this, it just has the thumb rest on the end. This little square, it is going to be put right in there, so there's no rotation. So when you're placing pressure on it doesn't rotate forward or anything like that and mess any alignments up. So as you can see, it just slides right in there, pretty straightforward. What you want to do, see there's still kind of a gap there. Should be able to see that. Just make sure you push it in so it's all the way flush, right? So that's pretty basic assembly, and then that's where your thumb's gonna set. Should sit in there pretty flush. There's no spacing or anything like that. You shouldn't be able to see any light through there. If you can, a tiny bit, just try and push it in as far as you can. And then basically you're just gonna reassemble everything the same way. It's down here, got the detent, got the spring, got the locking block, and this flat wall right here. See, it's kind of curved. This flat wall is gonna go towards the rear of the firearm. So when you're holding it like that, it's gonna go right there. Well, getting a little ahead of myself. So once you put that in there, you actually gotta go back down in here, in that little locking block that you push back, right there, right at the tip of that screwdriver, bring it forward again. It should lock right in place. And that's gonna secure this pin that is for the thumb rest. So once you have that forward, then you'll be able to drop the spring down there with the detent and everything like that. So take the spring detent, place it in so the tip of the detent goes inside of this locking block. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you see it right through that hole just a little bit. Drop that back down in there. So like I said, this flat side towards the rear of the firearm. What I'm gonna do, press down with my thumb, put the punch through. You see it right in there. Just kind of hold it in place while I get this slide release back in there. Helps if you have it a little straight. There you go. So couldn't really tell right there, but I was using this tip of the pin to push on that detent. That way I could slide this through, get it started. Have it nice and straight. That flat side should be facing down, and it pushed all the way through. So what you gotta do is you gotta push it back just a little bit, because this other end of the slide release, there's some grooves right here, and it actually slides down in there so it doesn't come flying off. So just take your punch, push it back, just so it's about flush. That hole is going to be on the top side. Slide it down in, push it through. Pretty basic. That way, should still function. Pulls down, releases that block right there. Now, it's just as simple as reassembling the slide. Line that up. Do a couple hard racks. Make sure the slide doesn't come flying off, because that'd be super important to make sure before you go try and firing this, and everything's there. So now when you're placing your thumb, you got something to rest your thumb on, kind of help control that recoil a little bit. I know they're a little snappy, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing some competition shooting or anything like that, but just to have a little more fun, be a little more accurate at the range. So not too bad. You pick these up for about 50 bucks. Quick, easy install, maybe 10 minutes max if you don't really know first time disassembling it too much. All right, yeah, if you guys got any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you.